What's going on, everybody? This is Boonjamin bringing you another F122 video, and today I'm going to be going over my wish list for F123. So F122 has been out for about 2 months now, and I think that's plenty of time to kind of see what the game has to offer and see where it's lacking. So this is just kind of my wish list of things that I want to see. I'm not going to touch on bugs and glitches and stuff like that. That's just more of a technical issue that EA and Codies have to work out themselves. I'd love to see an F1 game launch on time without major issues, but I don't really know if that's going to happen. But this is just more of a in-game gameplay kind of wish. So to start it off, my first wish is I want to see a dedicated practice mode. Right now, the only way to really practice is to run Grand Prix races, and even then you can only really do that with the equal F1 cars. The FOM cars, if you want to run those in Grand Prix mode, they're set to, the game forces you to race in equal F1 car performances anyway, so it doesn't really simulate the FOM car handling model in online races, which is, I don't really understand why that is. So the only way to practice with the FOM cars is to either always have a buddy with you, because you need 2 players to run in a online lobby, or hope to God that if you go into the lobby's selection screen, that there is a lobby racing at the track that you want to practice at, which is kind of 1 in a million chance, I guess. And even then, you can't really reset and change the setup to run in a different setup. So yeah, right now the equal F1 cars are fine, but in a new practice mode, you know, I would hope that you'd be able to select the FOM car as well, run it in the same trim as you would in an online race, and then be able to kind of mess with the setups in that practice mode. I'd also like to be able to fool around with the tire wear percentage and the fuel loads as well. So, you know, if you want to see what's faster, a set of softs with 30% wear or a set of mediums with like 15% wear at a certain fuel load, you can kind of mess around with those attributes whenever you want to, and not have to, you know, go in an online race and just try one setup at a time, which would probably take like 15, 20, 30 minutes depending on how long the race is. So yeah, a dedicated practice mode. Considering that Codies likes to push esports a lot, I think this would really help them grow that esports fan base, with guys wanting to, you know, join the esports scene. The fact that they don't have like a decent practice mode yet is kind of odd. You can't mess with the tire wear or fuel loads. So yeah, I think this would really help the game. It would really help other players, or all players really, probably improve their lap times if they want to dedicate that time to improve themselves at this game. And I would also really love to see it. So yeah, number 2, I'd want to see a racing line, like a customizable racing line assist. So this probably only affects guys that are still using the racing line. Right now, I've been trying to get off the racing line assist for like a year or 2, but at every track there's always like 1, 2, 3 corners that are giving me issues, and I really wish I was able to toggle on and off the corners that I'm doing well at and the corners that I'm not doing well at. That way I can build confidence on the rest of the track while trying to figure out how to handle those corners that I'm still having trouble with. So I don't think this should be that hard to put into the game, implement into the game, but I think this would really help a lot of players get better and not have to rely so much on the racing line assist if they could toggle on and off the ones that they need to. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. Next, what I want to see is something that I've been seeing a whole bunch of people begging for in the last few years, is the ability to give team orders in your career modes. So especially in my team career, where you own the team and you're the boss of the second driver, right now your teammate just battles you like you were any other car on track, and he just defends like hell. But it'd be really fun to be able to give team orders, and even give the other drivers a new attribute that allows them to either grant the team orders or deny the team orders. I wouldn't even mind battling them, so long as I was able to at least issue out the team order and then hope that they let me buy. And if not, then yeah, I'll fight them and gain the position the old way. But it'd still be fun at the very least to have the ability to give them team orders. And it's so annoying to see them pitting really late in the race, and then instead of going onto like a set of softs that can easily make the end of the race, you see your teammate pit onto a new set of hards, which is just stupid and you would never see in real life. So yeah, team orders will be a really new thing to implement into the game, and I know that everybody would enjoy their career races even more. Fourth thing I want to see is stricter rules in the more competitive races or events. So right now the weekly events and even featured events have regular corner cutting rules set. I don't really understand that, considering that they use those weekly events to help them determine the next future F1 esports drivers, I think, based on the scores. So it's really discouraging for me to finish a featured event or a weekly event race and then go through the positions and wonder how many of these guys were just cutting corners and able to get a higher score than me that way. I know in the grand scheme of things it doesn't really mean much. I myself am not looking to be an esports driver, but I'm still competitive when I play this game, and the fact that I see constantly people cutting corners and track extending and not being penalized for it, it just really kind of sucks some of the fun out of it for me. So at the very least, in ranked lobbies and the featured events in the weekly event races, I would love to see stricter rules. I don't care about assists. I know people want to play this game to have fun, so I don't want to take away assists, but I want to at least simulate a race as much as possible, you know, staying within the lines, not cutting corners and stuff like that, and still having to use some sort of skill to win the race and not just exploit the game mechanics, or the illegal game mechanics anyway. So yeah, I would love to see Codies make the corner cutting rules strict for those competitive races. I don't care about beginner friendly or unranked lobbies. People, you know, if they want to race with all the assists on and no rules, let them do that. But at least we're the ones where there's like scores and stuff like that, or rankings, you know, at least make the corner cutting strict in those. So last but not least, I don't want to make this list too long. I want to see EA servers kick players out when they're idle. I'm going to pull up a clip right now, and I see something like this far too often. The race is done, or most of the people have crossed the finish line, but we're still waiting on some one moron that's still sitting on the grid, hasn't moved since the start of the race, and we have to wait. I'm not sure, what was it? I think it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 3 minutes at the end of the race for this last guy to either quit or have the clock run out. And then even after the race, I try to kick somebody like this out of the lobby, but because there's so many people leaving the lobby and new players coming into the lobby, you don't get enough votes to kick this guy out, and then we have to deal with this all over again. So this is so annoying when you want to just get in a race and then go into the next race and go into the next race, but you're stuck waiting for these guys to for the clock to run out on these guys. And even in the waiting room lobby, almost everybody's readied up, but this one guy still hasn't readied up, and we're still waiting on this guy. This shit is annoying as hell. So what I would want to see is for EA to do something like after, I don't know, like 30 seconds or 45 seconds. I think most of the timers in between, like the setup for qualifying and then the actual start of qualifying, is like 30 seconds anyway. So just make the timer 45 seconds. If somebody hasn't touched their steering wheel in like 45 seconds, just boot them out of the lobby. Or if they're still sitting on the grid once everybody else has started their second lap of the race, boot them out of the grid. I don't understand why we still have this happening where somebody just hasn't touched their controller, or somebody's gone to lunch, or is just trolling because they're an idiot and wants to see everybody wait 30 minutes at the end of the race. Just kick them out and have everybody else go on to the next part of the race, or the next part of the lobby. And yeah, I know this is kind of some small stuff, and it doesn't really involve gameplay, I guess, but this is just annoying for when I'm online and wanting to get into just a whole bunch of races, get them all knocked out. So yeah, I didn't want to make this list too long. That's just the first 5 things that came to mind when I decided to make this list. Let me know what you guys think and what else you guys want to see in the next game. And if you think I've earned it, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and yeah, have a good one, guys.